So I have this following clip just to show everyone back home how we talk to people and what we do. In this clip I did talk too much, and it's not perfect in how I went about it, but there are a few things I would just like to show you and talk about in the video. Where we're at, I guess.
I'm Chris, and this is Wichita, Kansas.
And I'm Kate.
So we're here at the Keeper of the Plains. I'm not sure what that means necessarily. But,
I think it's that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're hitting up the 48 states, just kind of talking to different people. We see that a lot of people believe in a lot of different gods and religions, kind of thing. Manifest what your guys' stance is. I came at the approach of asking the personal beliefs, since the location is in the Bible Belt and all people come from all sorts of backgrounds.
Well, mine, it's not really specific.
Okay.
I do believe in a God, but not necessarily a religion.
Okay. How about you?
Mine's are pretty similar. I know right now I'm taking a class in Buddhist studies.
Okay.
So that's something that I think I'm
Oh, okay, for sure. Were you guys raised in any churches or anything? I see like there's a million here, so
yeah,
that's why it's like, yeah.
I was raised in a non-denominational church.
Once he said that, he's agnostic and doesn't really believe, asking him how he went from there to there gets you a better picture of where he's coming from. Oh, okay. And so how did you go from, like, I guess being in the church with their theology to being kind of agnostic, I guess?
Well, we didn't really attend church a lot.
Oh.
It wasn't like forced upon us, and hanging out with my friends that kind of had the same views as I started to. Kind of evolved.
Yeah. So do you guys believe in heaven or hell?
I believe that there's more of a heaven than a hell. I don't think that an all-loving God would really send somebody to hell, but I believe that there would be a heaven. Hopefully at least something after you die that you're just not going to.
We talk to a lot of people who, believe in heaven but not hell, and no one wants to really believe in a place, of eternal torment. But if we start picking and choosing, then we obviously are going off of what truth is, and we're putting in a whole lot of our own ideals. Right, and I definitely believe in an all-loving God. I guess the difference there is, do you guys read the Bible or have read the Bible?
I've read parts of it.
Parts, okay, for sure. Seeing that they only read parts of the Bible, that will automatically go to show that you only have parts of truth. I like to agree with people when we are talking. It keeps it from being so, keeping them, defensive. Just to show what I do agree with what they're saying, but obviously I have to clearly say what is wrong with maybe the whole part of what they're saying. So I like to just give, it's also another opportunity to give more truth. Because a lot of people I think get tripped up with like Old Testament, because it just seems super harsh, super rough.
It is.
Right. But but it's kind of like what you look at. You think of a court, right? And because Romans talks about how all men have sinned, fall short of the glory of God. So everyone's guilty, which kind of would put into, well then, like we're all going to hell, which is kind of rough, right? And they're like, well, I don't believe God would do that or whatever, But he's a just God. And then you have Jesus, which you guys know all about, I'm sure, dying on the cross for our sins. I should have dropped the gospel much clearer, even though he did say that, or they both said that they know what Jesus did. It's never a bad thing to clarify, just to make sure, because obviously I don't know where they're coming from. Okay. Just making sure. I don't know where we're at, so for sure. And then, that's John 3:16. For God so loved the world, he gave his only. To give your only son for a rotten people. It's pretty. That's pretty loving. And that's through Jesus we all have a chance to go to heaven, kind of thing. But I struggle with that a lot. Sorry, I talk a lot.
It's true, he does.
Okay,
it's your video, you're allowed to edit.
But I also edit a lot, so I just it looks like you guys will be talking a lot. So that's where I kind of got over the God's mean, because he's giving us a way out. You know what I mean? So because I definitely the Bible talks about hell a lot. Jesus came to talk about hell a lot. It's a very literal place. You know what I mean? And so yeah, we're kind of going around the 48 states, just telling people about the gospel. You know, like giving hope. You know, I feel like it's such a rotten place we live in, and there's already so many people that are kind of really twisting and turning a lot of people, especially our age. You know, like I mean, we're pretty open and influenceable. You know, I mean, me too. Like I've been in some serious, different, crazy, off the walls. You know, I mean, for real. You know what I mean? But now that I've found, like, for sure, like, I mean, how the Bible is really real, and if you want off camera, we can talk about that for an hour or two, whatever. But yeah, just to give hope. You know, like I think it's terrible when people go to sleep not knowing if they're going to heaven or hell. You know what I mean? And would you guys say you know how to go to heaven or hell?
I would say so.
How do you go to heaven?
I think that, I mean, I know that the Bible describes it in many different ways, but I think definitely being here in this world and helping people in this world is a way to do that, because you're showing a God's love by helping the individuals around you and caring for the people that He created.
For sure. And yeah, and the Bible even talks about how I'll show you my works by my faith. So that kind of ties into that. But there's also Ephesians 2:8. I don't expect you to. Yeah. But it talks about how like we're saved through faith and not through works. I think the way that everything runs, we're so used to having to work for anything we get, and so we would move that into our religion as well, you know. But yeah, when it comes to things of, you know, eternity, like that's not how Jesus works. He says just have faith in me. In fact, I'm gonna bust it out real quick. I'm terrible at memorizing verses. I could tell you where it's at, kinda, depending on the verse, anyways. But just have you check this out real quick. So a lot of people at home want to know like how I talk to people or what we do. So it's like, hey, check this out. Yeah. So if you want to just read that verse right there that I got underlined, Romans 10:9. Oops, sorry.
That if you confess with your mouth Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved.
So he's just saying you just have to do this and you'll be saved. If you want to go to heaven, you believe in Jesus. Oh, confess Him with your mouth, Jesus as Lord. So Lord being like, it's not about you anymore. Like Lord is like confessing you have someone over you, you know. And it's not that He wants to put a bunch of rules. That's why I didn't want to be a Christian for the longest time. And I was like, to be a Christian was the most boring, dumbest thing in the world to me. You know what I mean? And when I realized that it's something that's like gives you freedom, you know, and something like, oh, I don't have to do this or that to be happy. You know, we go to parties and we get drunk so that we don't have to be ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, me anyways, and a lot of my friends, like that's how we were, you know? And so, but it's like, hey, I want to be saved, you know? I want to live a life that God is pleased with, you know? And there's going to be a day where we're going to answer for what we do, you know? And we're not promised tomorrow. Today could be our last day. I have plenty of friends who didn't think that they're going to get in a car accident and, you know, die that day. I'm sure you guys know people who didn't see their end coming. It's the same for us, you know, and I just want to give you guys hope. Let you guys know all you got to do is just have faith in Jesus, I guess. You know? So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, well, I guess that's it. I should have asked if they were concerned about not going to heaven, if in fact they believed that they weren't going, because obviously when you ask that, it creates more of an earnest feeling, and perhaps even invite them in. So I'm just kind of like reading off these notes, sorry.